Hey everyone, it's Kabir here. So today we are going to understand about the call, apply and bind functions in the JavaScript. Now these concepts are very important. Now you will be coming to know about these concepts once you go into a React world. Okay. Now if you start exploring the React, you will understand what is the importance of this call method, bind method and apply method. So let us understand what is this. So let me create a file called call underscore apply underscore bind dot js. Okay, now we are going to understand about call, apply, bind functions. Basically these are the functions like a call function, apply function and the bind function. So we are going to understand about this. So let's try what is this. So let's consider one example. I have a function f1. Okay, fine, I have wrote a function f1. Now, this function is going to take two parameters, like something like um, x2 comma x3, or else we can say something like second number comma third number. Okay. Now, this function is going to take two parameters, second number and third number, and it is going to perform an operation of addition. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna say console dot log of this dot first number plus then we have the second number plus then we have the third number. Now what will be the solution for this? Here we don't have this first number, right? So obviously it will come undefined. Okay, undefined plus your numbers. For example, now I wanted to call this f1, right? So what I will be doing, I will be calling just f1 and I will be passing 2 comma 3. Now this 2 will go in second number and this 3 will go in third number. So now how it will be, this dot first number is like undefined plus 2 plus 3. So what will be the solution? You have to understand. You won't get any solution because we don't have this first number. So now if I want to execute it, how we can execute? Node, we have to say call hyphen apply hyphen, sorry, not hyphen, underscore, it's bind. Okay, call underscore apply underscore bind. Now execute it. Now you will get not a number. Why we are getting not a number? Because this particular part is undefined. Now this particular variable is not present in this particular object. Now that is the case. Now I want to make this first number available to this function. So I have one object. Okay, so let us consider I have one object where object. Now this object will contain one property called first number. Okay? Now it will have some value, something like 4. Fine. Now this is a separate object. This function is a separate. Now I want to make this object available to this function. How can we make an external object available to that function? If you wanted to make such things, then we have to go with the methods called call, apply, bind. Now what you will be doing, you will be saying f1, right, dot call. Now this is a call is also a function, so this is a function. Now this call function will take first parameter as an object, which object you want to make available for this f1. In this case, I want to make obj object available for the function f1. So I will pass first parameter as obj. Okay, comma. Now from second parameter, it will take all the parameters of that function. Now f1 have the arguments like second number and third number. So it will take second number and third number. So here I am passing something like 2 comma 3, right? 2 comma 3. That's it. Now this object is available to this f1. Okay. Now whenever the control comes to this 6 line console.log, this will be referring to this object, right? Now this will be referring to this object. Now this dot f1 is nothing but object dot f number. So f number is nothing but 4. So 4 plus 2 plus 3. So let me comment this particular thing. Yeah. Now if you execute it, now you should get the result. Now you got the result 9. So what is the use of call? Call function is used to make available a object to a particular function. Here, what is that particular function? F1. So we are calling this call function on F1. It means this call function will take one first parameter as an object, the object which you wanted to make available for this F1. Then from second parameter, I mean from second argument, it will take all the arguments of f1 functions. Now in this case, we have just two arguments, second number and third number. So it is taking two arguments. So totally call is taking three arguments. Now just consider I have something like a comma b comma c. So how many arguments I have for f1? It have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For f1 it is 5. So call will take totally 6. First object, first parameter or first argument always will be a object, the object you wanted to make it as a available. From second parameter, it will take all the arguments of that function. So f1 has total 5, so it will take total 5, like 2 3. I'll be saying something like this. That's it, guys. Now this is a concept of your call. Now, the simple purpose of a call is to make your function available a object. Now, object is this nothing but obj. Now, in the same way, apply function is also used for the same purpose. But what is the difference between call and apply? Here, call is taking how many arguments we cannot guess, because the first argument will be always object. Now, from second argument, it depends upon that function argument. If that function is taking 5 arguments, it will take 5 plus object 1 object is equals to 6. If the function is taking only one object as a argument, I mean one parameter or a one argument, then call will take only 2, because object is the mandatory, that will be the first, and this function is going to take only one, so it will take only one, so totally 2. So here we are not able to guess how many arguments that particular function call function is going to take. Now apply is going to take exactly 2 arguments. Now what apply is going to say? For example, f1 dot apply. Now apply is also function, so I'm writing a function. Now here apply will also take first argument as an object. So what is the object? Obj. Or else let me take one more object. So here I'm going to say something like var number. And here it will be like first number, something like 10. And it should be equal to. Okay, now we have the two objects. Now for this apply function, for this function f1, this time I want to make this number object as a available, means this object will be available for this f1. So how can I do? So in apply also, first parameter will be the object which you wanted to make available. In this case I want to make number, so I will be writing just number. Okay, comma. Now second argument will be the array. So this is the array. So apply function is going to take exactly 2 arguments. The first one is the object, second one is the array. Now in this array, it will take elements, right? Now that elements will depend upon how many arguments this f1 is taking. Now in this case, it is taking totally 5 arguments, right? Second number, third number, a b c. Now here I'm going to say something like plus a, then I will be saying plus b, then I will be saying plus c. Okay, now it will take totally 5 elements. Because why it will take 5 elements? Because this function have the 5 arguments, that's why. So I will be saying 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6, something like that. Okay, totally we have the 5 elements. Now these 5 elements are because of 5 arguments. If I have only 2 arguments, then this array will take only 2 elements. So indirectly, apply is also taking same number of arguments, but in this case, it is taking one object, one array. That is the one of the difference between your call and apply. Okay, now I'm going to save it, right? I'm calling. Now let me execute it. Now let me comment this as well. So node, now we got 30. The 30, why we got? Because this is the 10. Here it will be the 10. This dot first number is nothing but it is coming from this object. Now consider this object have different property. Like instead of no, it has n number, right? Right? Now this is a first number. Now here we are accessing first number, but no, first no. But this particular property is not present in this object, so it will be undefined. Undefined plus number addition, it will be not a number. So if you execute again, now we got not a number. Why we got not a number? Because this particular property is not present in this object. Here this object is referring to this number object. So the control will go to this number object and it will search whether we have first no property or not. We don't have any first no property. Now in case I am adding first no property equals to something like 10 only, or else let me use something like 100. Okay, now we have that property. Now if you execute, now you will get the result. Now you got the 120 as a result. So that is the case of your apply. So apply is going to take exactly two arguments. One is the object, next is the array. Now this array will take the number of elements depending upon the argument that function is taking. Now in this case, it is taking 5, so it will take totally 5. So this is a concept of your call and apply. Next one is the bind. Now bind purpose is also same thing, but the bind will have a slightly different syntax. Let us understand what is bind. Now I'm saying f1 dot bind. Now the bind meaning is nothing but bind the object number. Okay, now the second argument will be the depending upon the arguments of that function. Now here we doesn't have array, it is same like a call function, so it will take number of arguments present in that f1 function. So 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6, totally we have 6, because this 5 are we are taking 5 arguments because f1 is taking the 5 arguments. This f1 function is taking 5 arguments. So these are the 5 arguments plus first object. First argument will be the object which you wanted to make available for this f1. The syntax will be same, just instead of call we are writing bind. But now if we execute this one, it will not execute because this particular function, bind function, will return one more function, and that function will contain this f1 function plus this object. Now if it is returning something, means we have to carry, you have to catch. So I am saying where f1 equals to. Now here it is not compulsory that you have to give f1. Here I can give something like f11. There is nothing wrong. Yes. Now f11 will contain one function, and that function will contain this object. Which object? Number object plus the arguments of this f1 function. So indirectly, f11 is calling this f1 function only. But what is the specialty of this f11? It is having this number object as well. Means we are binding this object to a function and we are returning that function. If it is returning that function, we have to catch that function in some particular variable. That's why we caught, right? Now if I say here console dot log of f11, or else no need of console log, that directly we can call f11. Now let me comment this one, save it and come here, and we got same as 120. Now why we got 120? Because here first number is 100, right? Now 100 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, so totally 120. If I change some value, Like here, if I'm giving 200, now if I save it and execute, now you get 380. So it means this particular function, bind function, is going to return one more function. That function we have to call. If you don't want to catch it, then we have one more way. Just simply what you have to do, you have to, here you have to give a simple this way. Now here you are calling one more function. That function is nothing but a f1 function only, but this time the f1 function have the special property number as it. Okay, so that you can call this particular properties of this object into the f1. Now if you save, now again if you call, now you got 318. Now in case, let me make it as 300. So let me change the value, and now if I execute, now we got 615. Okay, now this is also one way, or else you can remove this, just this function. If you wrote like this is going to return one more function, so you have to catch that function in some way, in some variable, like I can say fn equals to, okay, any name you can give, but I wanted to give the same name what my function name is. My function name is f1, so I will be giving f1 only. Now here you have to call the f1. Now before that, let me change the value from 300 to 400. Save it and let me execute it. Now we got 1011. Now this is the concept of your call, apply, bind. At last, the intention of your call, apply, bind is the same. It is just going to make available a external object to your function. Now this is the our function, right? Now this function doesn't have a property called first number. Now this first number is coming from an external object, right? That object is number. So in somehow I wanted to make this object available for this function. Now if you wanted to make any object available for this function, then you have to go with the concept called call, apply, or bind. Now this concept you are going to use extensively in the React. When you comes to React, or anyone is learning the React, they will understand what is the importance of this bind and the call method. Apply we doesn't use normally because the purpose is same, but people mainly uses call and bind, mainly bind. So that is very important. So just try this concept, just understand this concept. If someone asks you why we have to go with the call, bind, and apply method or a function, you have that answer. So just give that answer, or else you can, after giving that answer, just try to explain a small example like how I have explained here. That's more than enough. Okay guys, so that's all guys. Thank you for watching the video.